At the outset, I would like to offer my humble pranams to Bhagavan Baba, whose grace alone is making it possible for me to broadcast this series over Radio Sai. Loving Sai Ram and greetings from Prashanti Nilayam. In my last talk, I described the abduction of Sita by Ravana and how later Sita was confined to the Ashokavana after being given an ultimatum. I am sure many of you would have wondered why I did not make any reference to the so-called red line, or Lakshman Rekha as it is popularly called. Now, for the benefit of those who do not know about Lakshman Rekha, let me explain that in the popularly narrated versions of the Ramayana, Lakshmana draws on the ground in front of the hut they all lived in a line and then tells Sita not to cross that line under any circumstance. Sita must always stay behind the line. Sita agrees to the condition, and when Ravana first shows up, she stays behind that Lakshman Rekha which granted her safety and protection. The story goes that Ravana knew he could not cross that line either, and so he tricked Sita into crossing over that line, and that was how he was able to abduct her. This is the age-old story, and it is invariably mentioned whenever the story of Ramayana is told. However, I did not mention it in my narration, and many of you might have wondered why I did so. The reason is simple. That story is not in Valmiki's version. Since I am faithfully sticking to the version as originally given by Valmiki, I naturally did not make any reference to it. I might add that there are many details where later versions of the Ramayana differ from Valmiki's original. I have also heard people argue fiercely as to which version is correct. In my view, all such debates are a complete waste of time. The important thing is the basic spiritual message of the Ramayana, and Valmiki's version does not lack that message in any measure. In fact, it's full of it, which is why I am sticking to it. The issue of the Lakshman Rekha having been disposed of, let me proceed from where I left off last time. Ravana had just taken Sita to the Ashokavana and kept her confined there with plenty of cruel Rakshasis to guard her. Let us pick up the story from that point. Ravana assumed that Ashokavana being isolated, no one would know about Sita's imprisonment there. He forgot, however, that up in heaven, Brahma was keeping a close tab on the developments down below. For was it not all a part of the divine master plan? Seeing Sita disconsolate and hungry, Brahma sent for Indra, the king of heaven, and said, Indra, Janaki, the wife of Rama, has been abducted by Ravana and is being held captive in Ashokavana in Lanka. As you are well aware, all this is a part of a larger plan to get rid of Ravana. While Rama would take care of the ultimate extermination of that evil monster, we must, in the meanwhile, do all we can to facilitate that process. Right now, Sita, who is being held a prisoner, is pining away for Rama. As a result, she is depressed in mind and famished in body. It is up to us to help her, to hold on to her spirit, besides offering some nourishment for her body. Prepare specially for her some rice cooked in milk with sugar. Take this preparation with you. Go down to earth, present yourself before Sita, and after identifying yourself, offer this pudding to her as a gift from all of us here. And while she partakes of this heavenly food, uplift her mood as best as you can. That is the mission you have to undertake immediately. Offering his salutations to Brahma, Indra left at once to attend to the task given. Soon, Indra was in Sita's presence, and addressing her, he said, "O noble daughter of Janaka, I am Indra, the Lord of Heaven. Brahma, the Creator, has commanded me to present myself before you, convey his blessings, and offer this pudding specially prepared for you by boiling rice with milk and sugar. You are badly in need of some nourishment, and this pudding is exactly what you need. Please accept it and partake of it, especially as it's a gift from heaven." Sita looked at Indra from head to toe and said, "This place is full of trickery and sorcery. How am I to know that you are really Indra and not a Rakshasa masquerading as the Lord of Heaven? Show me first some convincing sign that you are indeed a celestial being." Indra smiled and replied, "What you are demanding is fair enough. Please just watch." So saying, Indra rose in the air and remained suspended with his feet well above the ground. When Sita saw this, she became convinced that indeed Indra had come to visit her. Greatly touched, she said, "O ruler of the Devas, I now recognize you to be who you said you were. In you, I see not only my father, but also my father-in-law. What you offer, I shall consider as gift from my own elders and partake willingly." Holding out her hand respectfully, Sita received the vessel containing the heavenly food. Next, looking up towards the sky, she said, "O Rama and dear Lakshmana, I do not know where you two are at this moment, but wherever you are, I first offer this gift from heaven to you. In the belief that you have accepted this offering, I now seek your permission to partake of it myself." So saying, she tasted food for the first time after being taken away from her hut in Dandakaranya. Indra watched with moist eyes, reflecting on how much the Lord and his consort were suffering in order to help the beings of all the three worlds. Taking leave of Sita, Indra left immediately, eager to report back to Brahma the Creator. Meanwhile, having slain Marisha, Rama hastened back to his ashram, deeply concerned about the false alarm given by Marisha just before dying. Even as he was rushing back, Rama heard the howl of a jackal, signaling a bad omen. He then began to wonder if, having heard the false alarm, Lakshmana was out looking for him, leaving Sita all alone. And even as he was speculating thus, Rama saw Lakshmana come running. In an agitated voice, Rama asked, "Lakshmana, what have you done? Do you realize that you have left Sita alone? Was that a wise thing to do? I am deeply worried, and in fact, I fear the worst. Lakshmana, why on earth did you come here? Were you not able to see through that false cry? Did you really believe I was in danger?" Overcome with sorrow, Lakshmana replied, "Dearest brother, could I ever doubt your strength and valor? Have I not seen you, and that too just very recently, take on single-handed an entire army of several thousands? I am here because I was literally driven away by Sita with words sharper than 1,000 arrows. I never thought I would live to see the day when I would hear Sita make such cruel allegations against me, when at first I refused to budge and come here." Rama was so distraught that he refused to understand the predicament in which Lakshmana had been placed. Speaking with deep anguish, Rama asked, "Lakshmana, is that all you can say by way of an explanation? Do you really mean to say you did not have any faith in my ability to take on these Rakshasas? How could you so underestimate the danger you are placing Sita in by leaving her alone?" Losing his cool entirely, Rama then began to wail uncontrollably and lamenting non-stop, loudly proclaiming that if anything dreadful were to happen to Sita, he would end his life. Lakshmana, however, had the presence of mind to urge Rama that their first priority must be to return immediately to their hut. Even as they were doing so, Rama, still perturbed by the ill omens he had seen earlier, assumed that something unpleasant had already happened. Thus it was that he began to check with every tree and plant whether it had seen Sita. Noticing a Kadamba flower, a favorite of Sita, Rama rushed to it and asked, "O Kadamba flower so much loved by Sita, did you by any chance see her? Do you know anything concerning her whereabouts?" It was not just flowers, plants and trees that Rama questioned. He even began asking the animals roaming about the forest, including deer, elephants, and even a passing tiger. Eventually, prodded all the time by Lakshmana, who mercifully remained calm and collected, the two brothers reached their hut. And exactly as Rama had feared all along, it was empty, with no sign of Sita anywhere. Concluding that she had been abducted, Rama now began to lament even more. Turning to Lakshmana and sounding utterly helpless, Rama cried, "Lakshmana, Sita is nowhere to be seen. She is gone, taken away by some evil force. How can I live without her? It is not possible, and I might die any moment. But you know what? When I die and go where people do in their afterlife, our Father who is watching all this from up above would be waiting for me. And the moment he sees me, he would say, 'You cheat. You told me that you would be in exile for 14 years, and here you are before fulfilling your promise.' Lakshmana, when our dear father speaks those words, how can I bear them?" Fully grasping the poignancy of the situation, Lakshmana, cooler than ever before, gently said, "Brother, I fully understand how you feel. No doubt there is some ground for anxiety. But at the same time, there is no need to let your imagination run away, conjuring up wild scenarios. Let me put it this way. You are certainly aware that there are plenty of beautiful groves, little ponds, and also comfortable caves around here. Perhaps Sita has just gone out to enjoy the groves, admire the ponds, or pick some flowers. She might even be hiding in a cave just to tease you and see if you can track her there. This is not the time to lose our cool, but for calm and deliberate action. Let us not simply jump to wild conclusions. Instead, let us search carefully everywhere, looking for every bit of evidence that would give some clue about Sita's current whereabouts. First and foremost, please get hold of yourself, after which we shall promptly go out to search." Pausing for a moment, Rama silently accepted Lakshmana's suggestion and came out of the hut along with Lakshmana. The search for the missing princess of Videha then began in full earnest, with the two brothers scanning every inch and looking for every possible clue. They searched everywhere: hills, dales, valleys, ponds, caves and rocks. But Sita was nowhere to be seen. Rama became dispirited again, and once more Lakshmana had to struggle to revive his spirits. And as the fruitless search continued, Rama went through many cycles of alternating emotions. The question might be asked, if Rama was God incarnate, surely he would be aware of Sita's whereabouts. Why then all this searching? Indeed, it is in situations like these that the subtlety of the incarnation shows up. Yes, Rama was God incarnate, but having donned the human form, he acted very much like humans would do under similar circumstances. Where his divine stamp shows up distinctively and most emphatically is in his steadfast adherence to Sathya and Dharma under all circumstances. In the Gita, Lord Krishna declares that one of the reasons why God incarnates is for the restoration of Dharma. It is often imagined that since Dharma is usually destabilized by the bad guys, the avatar's main job is to get rid of evil people. This is too facile an interpretation of the role of the avatar, and as Rama clearly demonstrates, one of the many ways in which the avatar seeks to re-establish Dharma is by personally leading a life totally committed to Sathya and Dharma. That is why Rama is always spoken of as the perfect man, especially by Valmiki. A perfect man is not a stone and is as much susceptible to the ups and downs of life as every one of us is. Rather, the perfection shows up in the perfect harmony of thought, word and deed, which is a manifestation of constant, consistent and meticulous adherence to Sathya and Dharma in everything that one does. Thus it is that in the scenes currently being described, we see Rama going through the same sort of turbulent emotions that anyone else placed in that same situation would. And as is only to be expected, it is Lakshmana who now plays the role of the comforter and advisor. When difficulties come in seemingly endless sequence, people often lament and wonder why they have been singled out by destiny for such a cruel punishment. Rama's life shows that no one, not even the avatar, is exempt from difficulties, including very severe ones. Valmiki's unstated message is that through his various ordeals, Rama was seeking to demonstrate how one must strive to maintain equanimity, remain firm in one's commitment to Sathya and Dharma, and face up to the challenges of life, steadfast in the belief that eventually one would emerge triumphant. That's all for this week, and I hope you would join me again next week at the same time for a continuation of the narration. Till then, all the best. With deep humility, I offer this talk to our beloved Swami. Jai Sai Ram.